Coach Sam Pittman joining us. Coach, have you ever had to start a football game when nothing went well? Something tells me you have.
About 2020, about 2023. Yeah. I mean, a lot of those happened last year, Paul, but hey, it's all good. You're a good recoverer. You
Yeah.
can recover.
There's kind of an old adage in show business to never let them see you sweat when everything is going wrong. I was more than willing to talk to myself for a couple of minutes, but I'm glad you decided to join me. Coach, it's been too long. How are you and what's going on?
But I'm doing good. I think everybody's excited about their team at this point in time, Paul, as you well know. But some of the new guys, we've got 39 new guys. I think it's the way of the world. But Jamie and I is doing great. She's coming back from the lake right now. She told me to say hello to
Well,
you.
I always hate to just start talking about Jamie, but there are so few coaches' wives who speak to me that I feel a special kinship to Jamie since I feel like we have this friendship, and maybe she can help me in the wives club because I need some help.
She'll help you. But we're excited about spring ball starting up, and we've got a lot of new quarterback and to look at, running backs, 2 tackles, center, a lot of people. And then we have several coming back on defense from last year's team. We added to that too. So really pleased with the 7.5 weeks of preseason workout. And Ben Souders and his group did a wonderful job of getting them stronger and faster. And we start tomorrow, so we'll figure out a little bit more about the team starting tomorrow.
Coach, everything starts from the top down, and I know last year there were a few changes made, one in particular in the middle of the season, and then you reshuffled the deck a little bit at the end. I know that you feel most responsible because these are your coaches, but just the getting the right fit in your organization. I mean, you've done this a long time at many different levels. How do you approach that, and what do you think about it, especially when you internalize decisions that you've made and hoping that they're right?
Paul, when things start heading south on you, it's very, very hard to stop it. And I had a hard time of getting it turned around last year, and then of course we, made a change and things of that nature. But hiring Bobby Petrino, Ronnie Fouch, Eric Mateus as the O-line coach. I think we've really done a nice job there. Bobby's brings something special to Arkansas. He's got that love for the Razorbacks as well. So those things, that you're always very, very nervous about who you hire. And as I've been in my past, when I lost coordinators, that petrified me. I was nervous about it, especially when things were going well. And really happy with Travis Williams. He's back this year, and so there's only 1 instead of 2 from last year. But I love the fact that we hired Bobby because he's got that love for the Razorbacks, and obviously I think he's very, very brilliant offensive coordinator, and so it's going well, and he's helping me out too, Paul. A little bit like what Barry did for me when he was here because he was a former head coach. Obviously, Bobby's doing it with me now, and even better because he coached specifically as a head coach here, so he understands the region. He understands everything about the state of Arkansas.
Coach, I realize you probably weren't paying much attention but we were in the media when Jimbo Fisher hired him a year earlier. And then you did, and naturally people let their imaginations wander. You've addressed this a couple of times, but can you talk to us a little bit about it? Because there's so much history, obviously. I don't know if it's fair or unfair, what's attached to his name when he comes into a coaching staff, but as somebody who has seen it all, how did you approach the hiring of Bobby Petrino?
Well, I just wanted to win. And to be honest with you, I thought Bobby gave us the best chance to win. And that was really the reason that I picked up the phone and called him. Then after I visited with him, Paul, his love to come back to Arkansas and his drive to come back and be a part of the university. I know a lot of folks may think, well, he came back to be a head coach and all this kind of stuff. I don't worry about any of that. I just want to win. I want to win for the university, for the state of Arkansas. I want to make the people proud. and I thought this was the best way we could do it, but it's worked out extremely well. Bobby's a wonderful person and has been very, very loyal and been very, very good with our kids since he's been here.
You had such an interesting beginning there, Coach, and then it seemed like everyone in that state coalesced around you. So I know it's on you, and you feel the responsibility when things turn negatively. How do you deal with that? We talked about bringing Bobby in, but you're the head coach, and
Yeah.
it's on you.
Well, it's never been, I mean this, it's never been about me. It's been about the kids in the locker room, the state of Arkansas, and the university. So the pressure of the job comes from we want to make the state, the university, and the kids proud of the football team. We want them to embrace the Hog. We want them to embrace who we are. And it's never been about me. Even with all the things swirling around last year, and can he do this? Can he do that? It really hasn't affected me because the pressure comes from winning for the state, and so all the decisions I'm making is trying to make sure that I get the right people, both on the field and off the field, in the right places, so we can have success.
Do you? I mean, everybody doubts themselves, but it's one thing when others are doubting you. People that want the program to be successful. Can you block all that out? I mean, I don't know how you can if you do, but how is that part of what you're doing? Because you've never really. Most people until last year were 100% behind you.
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't think you can block out everything. I mean, you try to talk to your players about blocking out this, that, and the other, and then obviously you can't talk the talk and not walk the walk. But it's hard, at times. But again, you know, I'm the head coach at Arkansas today, and I'm going to be the head coach, in my opinion, for a long time here. I just got to get it turned around. And I believe that we can do it together. And so I really have a strong belief and love for the Hogs. And I have a strong belief and love or belief in myself. And we did it in much worse circumstances when we got in here than where we're at now. And I believe we can turn it around. I believe we have the kids in there on the team that can. I know we have the coaching staff that can. So I'm really not too concerned about it. I'm just concerned about, being the best coach I can be.
We're talking to Coach Pittman. So, Coach Pittman, let's talk about how you are going to turn it around. We believe you. This is the fifth year now. What is the most important thing you have to do to get this program to where everyone wants it?
Well, I think we had to we've got to shore up the offensive line. That was a big issue for us last year. We felt like our younger guys who played are going to be much better. And then, of course, we brought in three guys that we think are good players out of the portal. We felt like we needed to add a running back. We felt like we needed a quarterback on offense. Those things, I feel like we're in great shape with the guys we have on the team. Defensively, I think the one concern for the public would be our linebacker group. But being young doesn't mean you can't play. It just means you don't have the experience yet. So we're going to open up our Saturday practices and things of that nature to show our fans, to have fans in the crowd. So these guys are going to be able to play in front of people, and hopefully that'll help them when the fall comes. But we know our issues, we know our problems we had, and I think we've done a heck of a job of addressing that and getting the right people on the football team.
Coach, everyone talks about the quarterback position, and it wasn't a mystery for the last couple of years with KJ.
Right.
You knew who it was going to be. How are you approaching that with the opening of spring tomorrow?
Well, Paul, we have an open battle for that. Obviously, I think everybody knows we went in the portal and got Taylor Green, who we're ecstatic. We're very happy he's on our football team. But I think, obviously with competition, everybody gets better out of it. And so we're going to approach that. For one thing, we've extended 7-on-7. We've got some quarterbacks that we need to see. We have some receivers. Jordan Anthony's a new receiver. We have some new safeties, a corner, and so we've extended 7-on-7 period up to 8 minutes each day because we've got to evaluate these quarterbacks. We got to do it early. I would like to know exactly who the starting quarterback is coming out of spring ball. I think we can, but we had to. The only way you can do that is give the kids more reps to give them more opportunity to compete. And so that's one of the ways that we're going to get that evaluated.
Coach, I don't think we had a chance to talk to you since the schedules have come out, and I don't know anybody that was happy when they took a look because it's an extremely difficult conference schedule with the addition of Oklahoma and Texas. How do you approach what's in front of everybody in the SEC, especially Arkansas?
Well, I think everybody's schedule's tough, regardless of what the fans may believe, who has a good team and who doesn't, and all those things. We're going to approach it just one game at a time. I know what Coach Lee Paul, and I usually don't do that to you, but we are going to just approach it one game at a time. And I do like our home schedule. And I like our non-conference schedule and see what happens. But, from my first year here when the SEC so conveniently gave us Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee on the east to, going on the road, I don't know what it was, 4 or 5 weeks in a row last year. It is what it is, and I'm certainly not an excuse maker. I've got to get better this year. The schedule's the schedule. We have figured out a long time ago if we're prepared and we don't turn the ball over and don't give up big plays that we can win against no matter who we play. And so that's really what we need to do and not worry so much about the names on the schedule.
I know because we've talked about it in the past. Your great admiration for Coach Saban now that he has exited. I've seen some of your comments on it when it happened, but as you watch that unfold, as much or as little time as you could spend on that, what went through your mind to see him exit Alabama?
Well, I was sad to see him go, just because I enjoyed the interactions we had at the head coaches meetings and enjoyed competing against him. We didn't win in the 4. We had some good games, some not so good, but I just respect the hell out of him. And he tried to hire me a couple times, and so I knew he felt like I was a good coach, and that made me feel good too. But for someone to duplicate what he's done in college football, and not just in the wins and losses in the championship, but what he's brought to the game is incredible at a lot of different places. And I just have the utmost respect for him, and have ever since I knew who Nick Saban was.
Coach, we'll leave it there, but we're hoping for good things, as I know everyone in your state is. I look forward to seeing you and Jamie in a couple of weeks when practice is over and things are a little quieter.
Hey, I appreciate you giving me this opportunity. Always good to see you, buddy.
It is our pleasure. Coach Sam Pittman starting the program off for us here on a Wednesday afternoon.